Hey MGTOWs, this is Vincent. Let me struggle to my feet here. Arg. Oh, I am experiencing less and less pain as the days go by. Let me mute this thing. Basically, I was just reading a comment from one of my subscribers on my previous video. I believe his name is Jake the Snake. Cool name. But he was talking about how he went for minor surgery the other day or sometime before, and he basically he was saying that he was, feeling lonely and isolated and whatnot during the surgery, and as probably during recovery and all that, and he was saying that it kind of made him question MGTOW a little bit, and it all came back to me. I remember when I first bought the house in the one that I used to own, not the rental house. And when I first moved in, man, it felt spooky. I mean, it felt like someone was watching me all the time, and it felt like there was like this dark presence there, and it was like, and I think it took like probably 6 months for that to go away, because it almost felt like the house had to get used to me and accept me as the tenant or dweller or the person who lived there. Or it was it was spooky as fuck, and it reminded me of how. And I was talking to some of my fellow survivalist prepper types, that was just before I made my first MGTOW channel, or the one that I'm using right now, actually. And I was thinking, man, I was talking to these preppers, right? And I was saying, man, I mean, marriage is dangerous and everything, but I living in this strange new place, it makes me feel so lonely, and I almost wish that I had like a wife or somebody to live with me, because that was before my dad moved in, and I was sitting there in that house all by myself, and then I got a talking to by the women preppers, right? They were saying, your feelings aren't important, your nervous, your uncomfortableness of the house. We're not here to like serve and to like comfort you through this. You're just gonna have to man up and deal with this. And it's not our place to help you emotionally adjust to anything. And they were like being arrogant as fuck, and I was like, wow, how is it that they have so little empathy for how I was feeling, how lonely I was feeling in that empty house, and how could they possibly feel and be so callous, so cold, right? And it really kind of got me thinking, and I had gone MGTOW, a long time ago, 1997. But I was thinking, it really brought it home to me that nurturing and emotional comfort and support and physical comfort and resources and all the amazing, astounding, amazing gifts that we have in such huge friggin' abundance to give, and they were just so callous, But I mean, you would think that the part of the human race that produces and builds and creates so much, you would think that we would be given a break, or a hey, good job, or a, some kind of, you know, some kind of emotional support, but it just doesn't seem to work that way. And I was talking to the commenter, and he was talking about how he was, feeling, kind of lonely and whatnot during the surgery and whatnot, and I had to, and I remembered how, pardon me, I just had a sort of a small breakfast at the hotel provides kind of an abbreviated breakfast, but it's certainly enough. I couldn't do a 1 meal a day thing on a meal like that, but it's certainly good enough for breakfast. But enough complaining. But I remembered that when I would go for all of those vitamin C megadose IVs at the naturopath clinic, never once, not even once, did I see a woman bring a man in for his IV. But I would see men bring crippled up cancerous wives to the to the IV all the friggin' time. I mean, all the time. Sometimes, I mean, usually they would be there almost every day, and but never once, not once, did I see a woman bring a man who was enfeebled and weakened and injured and health problem compromised. I never saw a woman bring a man in for his IV. So, I mean, you gotta do the math eventually. A long time ago, back in 1996, right? I had watched my friend get falsely accused of like, well, I won't even talk about what he was accused of, but his wife just went nuclear. She just used the worst possible accusations you could think of, and in her rage and in her power and rage, and she just unloaded on the guy, and they buried him in jail for 3 months, even though 4 hours later, when she realized the magnitude of her screw up, they basically, she recanted 4 hours later when she realized how badly she'd screwed up her entire friggin' life. But they didn't accept it because the accusation was so absolutely, unspeakably freaking horrid. A woman, she just opened her mouth and blew up her freaking life. She wrecked the lives of 3 people with her friggin' mouth and the phone. So basically, and then when we visited my D&D group and I visited him, dudes scared me so bad that it put me on an odyssey, as I was saying before, trying to figure out what the heck was really going on and how could I possibly make, marriage a safe enough option. And I worked on it and agonized over it and read what I could, surfed up the internet that was available back then and spoke to my older fellow mechanics. And one of the things that really did it for me was reading The Myth of Male Power by Warren Farrell. And he really outlined it, man. I mean, just the whole, that was, such a huge red pill. And it was just so obvious that I had seen it all my life and I just had been indoctrinated and I couldn't accept it. But then, man, I had to. I mean, there was just no way around it. So in the spring of 1997, that's when I went MGTOW. I finally realized the problem has no solution. Not when the entire legal system is on the woman's side. Yeah, it's just not practical. So I went MGTOW, even though I'd never heard the word MGTOW before. And I wavered a little bit, just like he did, you know, from time to time, here and there. I wavered and thinking, man, it would be kind of nice to have a wife or a girlfriend or something. But I mean, I would still date, but women were just so arrogant back when I was that age, you know, in my 30s. And they were just so incredibly arrogant, and they're even worse now. So basically, I just it was enough to make me never really enjoy dating. I mean, I always felt like I was just like a temporary guest, and the woman was just there to I mean, she was just there for the time, you know, just to use my resources and whatnot, and then off to the next guy. And it was just pathetic, man. How can you invest in something like that? So I didn't, but I did from time to time have these little twinges of wanting some kind of company with me, you know. And but this time with, even though I had freaking major surgery, freaking my whole asshole was cut out, and my whole rectum and descending colon was removed, and then the bag installed, you know, and all this time, you know, throughout the time I've been here in Tijuana and in Cancun, I did not have that desire. And it might very well be, and I think a lot of it might very well be that I'm being given such amazing support by our fellow MGTOWs right here on this channel, that they just, you know, they're always praying for me, and man, that is so touching, and it is so valuable, you know. Tearing up a little bit. But it is such a hugely valuable thing to have such amazing support. So thank you so much. But and I was pointing out to Joe Snake that what he was feeling is just, you know, it's the indoctrination, the perfect white picket fence thing that they were trying to sell us, you know, all our lives. Pardon me, guys. But and it's like they've been selling this dream to us all our lives, but it's a lie. I mean, Joe, if you're listening to this video, I mean, thank you for inspiring me to make this video. Basically, what you're doing is you're comparing your current life, right, to an imaginary ideal that, if it exists, I mean, on a rare occasion, it might exist for a while, you know, a long time. But generally, if that exists, if that support, that caring, that nurturing from a woman to a guy, if that exists, it only exists for a short time, and then it's gone. And then you're dealing with just bitchy, freaking feminist, angry, unsatisfied woman who just wants to, who knows that you suffer when she is unhappy, you know, and she's always complaining and bitching and nagging, blah, 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 blah. And then she gets hot for some other guy, and then you're out, you know. Then the harvest begins. That's when they throw you in the wood chipper and then squeeze out of all your juice, and then basically she just you know, she harvests every last thing she can get, and everything she can get in the future, every last thing. And it's like almost like they want revenge because we are bigger and stronger and smarter than they are, right? It's like they want to get back at us because they happen to be women, right? And they're angry about it, right? So they want to exert power and harm us and benefit from harming us, and just enjoy the power of being able to just wreck the guy. And then as revenge for failing to make her perfectly happy at all times. Make her happy. Yeah, right. That's impossible. So, yeah, you cannot make a woman happy. She's either going to be happy or she's not. You can't. I mean, you could make her unhappy if you tried, but you just cannot make a woman happy. Don't even bother. I certainly don't. But, so basically, it's just nurturing, caring, and resources, and maintenance, and support. It almost always flows in only one direction, and that's away from us and toward the vagina, toward the vaginally endowed, toward the woman, right? They're like royalty, and we're like peasants. But some peasants pack their shit up, walk off, buy a bunch of bitcoins, and then retire early. And that's what I did. And as I've been around, you know, even in the hospital, laying on that shitty mattress and sweating and freezing, depending on whether or not they had the AC on, I didn't miss it. I did not miss not having support, right? Everything that anybody that I could bring, you know, generally from the U.S. wouldn't be able to help me pretty much at all here, you know. They might be able to do a little something like if I'm on this bed and I can't get up, like a couple of times I had to like really try hard and try to roll off the side and then put my feet down and agonize my way to my feet, right? I don't think a woman would be able to help me very much, even in that situation, you know. So what's the purpose of her? What's the use of her? I mean, just all of the nurturing and all of the wealth and all of the power and finances and labor that I would have invested into that woman, and what could she do for me? Not friggin' much. Not here, you know. She'd just be a useless chicken running around clucking and making a big to-do and running around in circles and dumping all her emotional angst all over me, and probably trying to figure out how to expedite my death so that she could harvest all my wealth, right? I don't understand how something like that would benefit me. So, yeah. So I'm happy I didn't do it. So, but here, right, I can do pretty much whatever I want. I'm in pain, you know, I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, I can walk around the hotel now, and I think I'm going to walk across the street and see about getting a few things from a pharmacy. But basically, if I had a woman here, she wouldn't be able to speak the language. She wouldn't be able to help me get up off the friggin' mattress. She might be able to run an errand or two, but most women, would be too worried to go by herself, so she'd be as useless as tits on a boar hog, honestly. So, and all of that wealth and all of that energy and time investment is just dumped into her life, and it's just draining everything out of me, and it just goes to her, right? And chances are, since I'm 55 years old now, chances are the divorce would have happened by now anyway, and I would just end up being penniless with freaking stage 4 cancer, and I would probably would have had to have taken chemo, and I might probably well not even be here by now, So it's just a matter of, just gotta open your eyes and Joe Snake, take some more of those red pills. I think Hammerhand has a big, huge bottle of them, and he like chugs the whole thing. He might have a few left for you too. But I know that what you're feeling is just a little twinge, just like that twinge that I felt when I bought my house and I was feeling lonely because it was so friggin' spooky there, right? As you guys know, I'm one of those weird aura seeing types, and I'm very intuitive, and I'm like a very weak clairvoyant. I used to like see all kinds of crazy shit. But it scared me so bad about 25 years ago, I stopped doing it. But this is neither here nor there, but I actually saw, basically you'd have your eyes closed in that meditation thing, and it would be like a little hole would open in your eyelid as your eyes were closed, and you would like see through, and I would like see random things, like being in the back seat of a car and seeing the back of the somebody in the driver's seat, and I would like see just random stuff, and it might be dreams, or it might have been anything, who knows. This is my subjective experience, but I also had a few out-of-body experiences. I think it happened like twice. I had like sleep paralysis, and I would see, and I ended up seeing the cupboards at my home of record in Seattle back when I was in the Army, and I saw these white things going by, and I was wondering what they were, and when I managed to pry the paralysis away, and I just managed to just move my thumb, right? And then then I was able to move my 2 fingers, and it was like the paralysis lifted off me like a blanket almost, And but that was one time, and that scared me. But then another time, I shit you not, my brothers, I saw a frickin' reptilian. Looked a lot like the Sleestack from that old TV show, The Land of the Lost, except, like a silver outfit and human eyes, and it was looking at me with amusement. That was the last time I did it. Since then, I was like, no, not doing it. I have enough knowledge, and I learned enough during that period of time to be 99% certain there's like afterlife for us and everything. That's probably why I feel I'm not terribly overwhelmed with terror from the stage 4 cancer problem that I'm dealing with, because I am like convinced that we have got an afterlife waiting for us, right? One last thing, I'm pretty convinced that we that it's kind of important for us to try to control our dreams, because it seems to me that when our brains shut down and those thoughts, those random thoughts and the crazy angles and everything, I think that's our normal mental state. And if we can learn and take some of what we've got here, the logic that comes from the thinking hardware up here. And if we can imprint that and take that with us, take some of that with us, we'll have it in the next life. That's my suspicion. But back to Joe Snake again. Man, that little twinge you had, don't even worry about it, brother. It's just indoctrination, and it's a lie. The only thing you're seeing, the only thing you're comparing a perfect imaginary situation with your actual current life, and that never works. So, my brothers, today I am able to do a few things. I think I'm going to be able to get up and run an errand and walk, or do a little bit of walking, across the street, get some more water, get some stoma scissors. Basically, you have to trim these little disc things. These things right here, you got to trim them to fit your intestine, which is sticking out of your stomach, and you've got to trim it to the right size. But the stoma nurse that gouged me on all of these supplies, she neglected to bring stone scissors to trim the freaking discs with, right? I think that she just wanted me to hire her again to teach me how to put the disc in the bag and everything on. And the doctor was telling me, oh yeah, you should hire her and have her for 2 or 3 times to show you how to do it. But I imagine that would be fine if I could understand rapid freaking fire Spanish without a single freaking word of English. And she was just going, blah, 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 right? And she was going, blah, 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 right? It was just crazy. I mean, I have studied some Spanish, and I would catch a word here, catch a word here, catch a word there. And then I would try to use Google Translate and hold it up, and she would go into the freaking phone, and then the phone would get about 60% of it, right? And the doctor's going on, she's so amazing, she's so tremendously amazing at this. If you can freaking understand rapid fire Spanish without a single friggin' word of English, yeah. But I'm not paying for that shit. I get vastly better instruction right on YouTube. And I'm gonna go across the street because I said, no, I'm not gonna work with her again. No, she may be a good stoma nurse, she did a good job putting my disc on, but she is useless as a teacher, So yeah, I will not be paying for that. So that's about all I got for you, brothers. I've got stuff to do. I'm gonna jump through the shower and see if I can do a few things, get out a little bit. It's not gonna take much to tire me out hard, but I can make it across the street, and maybe I can find some scissors. And if not in the pharmacy across the street, there's an auto parts store over there. That's my comfort zone. I bet I could find a pair of scissors there that would probably do the job. Okay, MGTOWs, that's about all I got for you. And Joe Snake, don't even worry about that twinge of feeling you got there for a moment. It's just a remnant of the indoctrination that you've been subjected to all your friggin' life. And you can escape it, because I've certainly escaped it. I don't feel the need for some stupid freaking vagina hanging around my neck, causing me all kinds of problems, and not really doing anything useful. I don't have a need for that, and I don't feel the need for that. Even when I was sitting in the hospital all those days in the hospital, hooked up to the IV and the freaking urine catheter, and I did not feel the need for a woman there. Or, my dad, I'm always happy to hang out with my dad, but I didn't even I wouldn't need him here, you know. He can't speak the language. He can't do anything because he's just not strong enough, you know. He's just old. So it's just as well that he stays home. And I tried to get him to get a passport. The guy's like 3 days older than water, and he keeps planning to die every, you know, like he says, well, I'm probably going to die blah, 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 anytime now. So he doesn't want to invest a lot, you know, so I couldn't get him to get the passport, which is unfortunate, but oh well, you know. I might have brought him along, but maybe not. It's just as well. I prefer to travel light, you know, grab my stuff, hop on the plane, land, do my business, then go back, you know. And I can do anything I want, right? I am absolutely autonomous, right? I can eat where I want, I can do what I want, I could go get an Airbnb and stay here permanently if I wanted to. Well, no, I'd have to go back home for my Bitcoins. No way am I bringing those here. So, so basically, well, I wasn't going to bring them here on the trip, right? But I would have to arrange access to them if I moved here permanently. Or I could just fly home like once a year and, well, get them. You know, I don't want to tell you where they are, but basically they're not in my house. So I'm deciding. I don't know if I want to have that much money just right here all the time. You know, that's just asking to be kidnapped or something, you know. So it's better to not have access to it. So yeah, I think I'll probably just go back once a year and then, you know, cash out a little bit and then return if I wanted to stay here. But I don't know where I want to live yet. I've got shit to do in the States, you know, between, you know, now and whenever, you know. Okay, MGTOWs, now I procrastinated long enough. I'm going to let you go. I've got to get some shit done. And don't get married.